Wakanda forever. What's up, y'all? What's up, Raf Gang? How is it going? They're about to start, I think, here in a couple minutes. A true live stream about War for Wakanda expansion. Huge expansion for this game. I heard it's going to be 20 plus hours of the campaign. Lots of new enemies, 2 new bosses, tons of stuff. And of course, Black Panther's going to be awesome. Yeah, want to check out his abilities, see what he's all about. The voice actor is Kratos, like God of War. Kratos is voicing T'Challa, so I'm sure his voice is going to sound awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a good stream. Hopefully they answer a bunch of questions, give us a date for next month. But this month is supposed to be a huge update for this month. July is supposed to be a Mega Hives multiplayer, so multiplayer Mega Hives, and also any character can play. Like 4 Hulks, 4 Iron Mans, 4 Thors, all this stuff should be in that expansion, or that update as well. So hopefully they give us a date for that. Probably next week, to be honest with you. What's up, Raf Gang? Reapers are here. What's up, man? That's the dev's background, but it looks damn good though, right? Very clean. I like the purple and the yellow. It's got my style to it. What's up, Roy? Getting a noob Cybot vibes from Black Panther. I can see that. Heck yeah, I can see that. It's awesome. Hey, Fat, what's up? Dan, how you doing? I'm great. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks for watching. I think we'll see gameplay. I'm pretty sure they'll show something. I mean, this is supposed to be the stream for Wakanda. Black Panther. They gotta at least show Black Panther for sure. Actually, in-game Black Panther for sure, yeah. So yeah, let's see what they're going to talk about, and hopefully it's some good stuff. Any moment now. Here we go, guys. This is probably the same trailer we saw before. Let me know if the sound is too low or whatnot. So
I applaud your efforts to connect with your roots, but as a man who has seen 3 Black Panthers fall, I must warn you of a few things. Many eyes follow the path you are about to walk down.
oh yeah. Excellent. Oh, we got copyright music. Let's talk over that and maybe mute it just a couple minutes here. New enemies. There's Cap, Iron Man, yeah, doing flips. Ooh. Got good evade moves. Da 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 da. Yes. Da 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 da. Shing. You should have his claws come out right there, just shing. A little more copyright song. And there we go. There he is.
Hello, everyone.
Kratos. He's a busy man too. He's doing Kratos right now, and he's doing Wakanda. Uh-oh, you're muted.
It is. It definitely is.
He's muted.
I am loving it. I'm super excited. People in chat already saying Mr. Judge, Chris Judge. They're excited. They're excited.
I can't hear him. I can't hear him. Hurry up. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. I can't hear him. Can't hear him. Can't hear him. Look at their faces like, oh no. We're missing the best parts right now of Chris Judge. Because this is when he's most excited. Like, yes, I'm here, yes. And all of a sudden we can't hear him.
They're saying you're muted.
Oh, damn.
I might have.
Damn.
I think we're good.
Damn.
Can you hear us?
They're saying there's no audio and they can't hear him.
I am definitely.
There he is. Now you're not muted. Kratos speaks. I think it was
I
on
think
his
it
end.
was my end.
No,
I
no,
think
it was on
okay,
Chris's
they can
end.
hear you now?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Whew.
You might have to do that again.
Yeah, do it again.
Okay.
Bring it back. Bring that excitement.
Boy,
Yes.
indeed.
All right.
There
There we go. There we go.
All right, now we know who he is.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think that was on my end.
Whew.
Okay. Now the chat is actually going wild. All right. So
Eivor.
obviously we have Chris Judge here. He is the
Tattoos.
voice
What's
of
up, Jack?
Black Panther in Marvel's
Stay in.
Avengers. We're super excited. We got some of your
Misinterpretation
questions on
meant
Twitter,
everything
on
combined.
Facebook, on Instagram, and
Well,
we're
as
just
long
gonna
as
get
it's within
going.
the same campaign,
we
it's
have- we
pretty
also
cool.
have,
Because it's all
Evan
new.
Narcisse and
And if
Hannah
it's
Cloud
new,
joining
that
us,
means
a little bit
it's
later
20
at
plus
like
hours.
10:30ish.
Side
But
missions, so it's not
questions
it's not
here.
actually linked to
All
the
right, let's
campaign.
get to 'em.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Alright,
fun, Jack.
So, first one is, how does it feel to be voicing Black Panther?
You know, it's great. I really
Black Panther and Kratos
had some-
Funko
well,
Pops.
I have a definitive list of roles that I would be willing to do, which
Black Panther mug.
is very short.
Gotta wear poster.
And Black Panther was definitely one of them. I never thought I would get the opportunity to do it, but it's been wonderful. It's been fantastic. It's been an honor.
That poster behind Layla. It looks like, what is that?
All right. So the next
Someone's
go
hitting
ahead.
someone.
Okay. Next question. What was your approach or inspiration for playing Black Panther? Like,
Is that
did
Hulk?
Did you do any research into the character, his origins, that kind of thing?
I think it's Hulk
I
with
didn't
the
need to
Stark.
do a lot of research. What a lot of people don't know is I am a nerd, and so I
Yes.
started collecting comics in the '60s. So from
60s,
that
that's-
standpoint,
that's
I
a
was
long
very
way
familiar
away.
with the character. From an actor's standpoint,
Hey, well, it was
because
pretty
I
cool.
wanted
I was actually
to-
enjoying it, but no one was watching my stream, so I'm not really live streaming it.
my version of my
It was
interpretation
good.
of T'Challa to be my own, to be it judged on its own merits. I really didn't listen to anyone else's take on it. I wanted to be completely kind of autonomous. And having said that, the work I did do was with my wonderful, I hesitate to use the word coach because she was so much more my voice mentor, my spiritual guru.
That's definitely
Miss
Hulk
Beth
behind Layla.
McGuire, who we spent months really trying to dial in the accent. And Beth was also the vocal coach on the film. So
Wow.
I not only hopefully learned the accent, but the origins of the accent.
I knew
how
you'd
it
like it,
came
Evo.
about, and it was a very interesting ride because I'm not a voice artist. Like, they really are artists. They have a library of voices that they can do.
Andy should have put
I pretty much got this.
War of the Wakanda on
you
a
know,
TV behind him. That was a missed opportunity.
And
A black
I
screen.
really don't ever venture out of
like that
the
is-
kind of basement of my voice. And
That's good.
with Beth, a lot of it was because I didn't want him. I mean, obviously, it's always going to be some sort of me,
Mhm.
but I didn't want him to sound like any characters that I previously played.
Booty.
And I couldn't do that if I stayed in the
Yeah,
bottom of my vocal range.
There's only one Space Jam, and that's Michael Jordan's Space Jam.
I see.
That's why I'm not really hyped to see that movie.
All right. So
It's almost like
what
he
were
wants to
some of
put
the
his stamp
challenges
on
of
everything
playing Black
MJ
Panther,
has
if
done
any, at all?
to try to make sure he's the GOAT and not
Well, some of
MJ.
the challenges
And I don't
were
really,
kind
I don't
of
really like that.
recording in isolation. It was really the first time I had done a a leading character, kind of on my own without any of the other cast present, and due to obviously COVID, we were forced to record that way. So I actually recorded from home, and it's a very different process when you don't have the other actors / characters there to kind of vibe with, play off. So that was challenging. I found that very challenging.
Yeah, I'd say so, Dan. I figured it would be. Yeah, no desire to see that movie. Even though I have HBO Max right now and I could easily press play and watch it. No desire.
It's interesting. So I like to.
Glad you spent the 2 hours and not me.
Physically try to be closer to the character that I'm playing. So my previous characters are big, huge, muscly characters. So I worked out quite a bit to get bigger. And one of the things that I found was with T'Challa being obviously athletic, obviously muscular, but he was lithe and quick and springy, and a much different physicality than that. And I was well into my, I don't know if it's called the COVID 20, but I was probably into my COVID 40 pounds, and I found it difficult to kind of vocally portray the physicality of someone who was lither, more quicker, agile. So I actually
getting tempted to play Black Panther.
I lost, I think.
Now that you can
pounds.
play as any character, you're not stuck with just one character on a team.
I carried myself differently, being lighter, being weight-wise.
Wow, interesting. So you really put your all into everything.
Well, at my age, and I've been fortunate to have the career I have. I've just vowed to not ever do anything that I don't believe in 100%, and that I'm not 100% committed to. And I have always believed that the physicality of a character is a very vital ingredient into being able to get into the headspace of it.
It's probably meant for little kids, not for
yeah, that's some dedication. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely.
for all your roles.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
So this is from a player, Just Tank Man. What is your favorite thing about Black Panther as a character in everything, all mediums?
Hopefully they get to some gameplay.
That he's not only
in-game screenshot.
Often we get
in-game
into,
animation.
What a character is able to do physically and not intellectually. I love that he's not only this physically dominant character, but his intellect and his quickness, and he has this sense of humor and lightness about him that I absolutely love. And one of my favorite, not only the relationships with people, and I got to say Wakanda forever.
Of course.
And now that this has been announced, I can wear all my cool Wakanda stuff.
Oh, nice.
I remember when I first, when we first started doing it, when I was first hired, I felt weird, because everything in Hollywood's so hush hush these days. I felt like I couldn't wear any of my Black Panther stuff, or people will go, "Why are you wearing that?"
There's a rumor
What's going on?
Start or something. Post a picture of you on Twitter just for funsies. I didn't even realize you had a Black Panther shirt on. Nice,
secret.
I love it.
Yeah, this is my first
Wakanda
day
forever.
since getting the job that I've actually worn some Black Panther stuff.
And you're free to do it. You're like, it's out there. I'm gonna wear this on a live stream on Zoom. That's great. I love it. I love it.
All right. Speaking of people, what was it
I'm
like
sure you
working
will,
with
Fat.
our team at
Lots of
Crystal
cool
Dynamics?
skins.
It was fantastic.
El Mundo.
You know, the
Yeah.
whole world.
Yeah,
obviously
Stargate's
was
when I
going
first knew
a
who he
very
was,
rough
and of
time.
course Kratos, the voice of Kratos.
And
Then he blew up
to
after
be
that.
able
Now here he
to
is as Black Panther.
have
Good
interactions
afternoon
with
there,
people.
Thunderhawk. What's up, my man? Thanks for
But
stopping
also
by.
to be able to
My
talk
VIP member with the
about
sick
what was
badge.
going on in the world, what was going
Thanks
on
for his
in our
name.
country,
Fantastic.
what
Thank you, bud.
was
Stopping by. Appreciate it.
that was
And Sammy,
and I don't
my
want to
other
get away
VIP
from
member.
how
What's up,
great they
Sammy? Thanks for
are
stopping
at
by.
what they do, but the emotional support through
Yeah, she doesn't smile much, Sammy.
lot
She's
of
like the
stuff
moderator,
that
and she
was,
might talk here and there
going
and
on
might smile
was
if a funny comment comes out.
it
But no, she's
it was immeasurable how
pretty
much
much the same like that.
it
At least she's not
helped
wearing
me
her
to
glasses, so you can see
get
her eyes.
through, a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
definitely Hulk
and the amount
behind
of
her.
care
Yeah.
that they have in reverence for this character, for Wakandans, for it's great. You know, you like for the dedication of other people that you work with to be equal to yours, and definitely had that, and their reverence and respect and knowledge of not only T'Challa but Wakanda in general was.
Yeah, I might actually start playing Black Panther here.
Yeah, I know
when
a
he
lot
comes
of
out.
our, especially our narrative team.
I might
they were just, like,
put
oozing
Hulk
every time they worked with you.
have a seat
Uh,
on the bench, and I might
Anthony
actually
Beal was a
you
big
know,
fan of yours.
he's looking pretty awesome.
He was like going crazy, and when I was typing to him, I'm like, I had a session with Chris Judge today. I'm like, I can't wait to meet him. And we were all like, man, let's. I'm so jealous.
He's great, and the great thing is, he kept it a secret until I think our next to last record. I think it was our next to last or second to last record, where he just full on just. And I was like, man, thank you for not telling me till now, because that's kind of creepy, dog. No.
You're like, that's.
There it is. Screenshot her.
You're
Boom.
like, now that I know.
Oh, then it went away.
No, he was great. He was great.
Anthony, if you're watching, shout out to you.
Shout out, brother.
Shout out. All right, so this one is what does Wakanda mean to you?
Hope, aspiration. As an older Black actor, because you know I don't ever want to be non-committal about I'm Black. I've been around since the 60s, so to have a society that is technologically advanced, intellectually advanced, meant everything. You know, when the media entertainment portrayed people of color a certain way for so long, to have this, one of the reasons.
Be great to see a title screen with Black Panther with the rest of the Avengers.
Not only because I love the character and it meant a lot.
At least show us
me,
that.
But it was also that I still have in my mind the hope at some premiere or some event, I will have a chance to say thank you to Ryan, say thank you to a lot of the team that got the Black Panther projects done, because I've literally watched different types of Black Panther projects tried to get made since probably the 80s, and to finally have it in all its various forms is wonderful.
Wow.
And to be a part of it it's truly humbling. it's really humbling.
You.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that question.
Absolutely. Wait, do I have a choice to not answer?
You
Probably
know,
not.
well,
I mean,
you could, I guess, if you really didn't want to.
all right. Here's a question from one of our viewers, Carrot Scraps, who asked, as an actor, how do you approach a new character?
Research. Research.
I try to. It was a different process with this one. Just knowing that I didn't have the rest of the cast to play off, I had to be more invested in the preparation. With previous stuff, I did my own work and brought that to the table. But one of the great things about working with Beth beforehand was that we got to explore T'Challa's relationships with other characters and really hash them out. Generally, that's something I would wait to do on set to see where it lands, to see where your interaction in person is with the other characters.
All right, Evans.
Because we
dinging
didn't
in
have that ability to even have like read throughs together to do any of that, I had to.
That's a cool Black Panther
on my own. Well, not
sculpture,
with
top shelf behind it.
And so that was
posters
a
there.
completely different process for me.
Evan popped in there a little bit. Evan, it's okay.
Evan, what's up?
I know. Hey, Evan, how's it going? We'll talk to Evan and like
knowing that Evan was involved.
Yeah.
See, a lot of times just on
there he is, Hulk,
that I work on, I always go, such and such character would never say that. With Evan being involved, I couldn't do that.
Hi, Evan. You're live right now, Evan. By the way.
No, I know. I decided to come back.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. How are you, Evan?
I'm good. Hold on. I gotta mute the Twitch because I was watching the stream.
Wait. I wanted to see what was in Evan's background, because that tells so much about people. What's in their background?
Exactly.
I'm gonna
what's in the background?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, it's like it's a little Black Nerd Shrine. I got.
Awesome.
You can see the Miles Morales soundtrack.
Wow.
Right there. Hold on. Yeah, right there. There's Miles Morales. That's an trade paperback of Icon. Milestone Media, their superhero character. That is a book on a tribe called Quest by Hanif Abdurraqib, which is amazing.
What?
Yo, you got to read that book. It's amazing. That's a Black Panther helmet that a friend of mine 3D printed for me.
Cool. 3D printer.
Damn.
Oh, that's
I know. I had to.
Can I have one?
That was my reaction.
That's the art of making Miles Morales. I wrote an introduction for that, a forward for that.
Wow.
That's that is art of the movie book, signed by somebody very special. I'm not at liberty to divulge. Last year I broke my hip, and that showed up in the hospital. And that's a French edition. Sorry, I'm like this is my camera works terrible, but that's a French edition to Rise of the Black Panther, which is this beautiful hardcover that one of the artists, Paul Renault, bought to New York a couple of years ago, and it was a wonder. It was a joy to work with Paul. But yeah, anyway, I just want to say hi to Chris. I didn't know you were an old school comic book nerd, so hopefully one day soon we can get together and talk comics. I would love to do that.
I would love it.
Am I invited?
So who is Evan?
Sure, Andy.
He's a writer.
As long as you act right.
Okay, all right, okay. I think we'll go with that. I'll just be in the corner, just so you know, like observing. That sounds really creepy.
Say hi. I don't want to cut into Chris's time. It's been such a joy to have.
Layla should unmute her mic.
T'Challa in this game, and
if she does say something, it'd be nice to hear it.
I just can't wait for everybody.
Even a small giggle.
The world
Jeez.
these guys have been building over at Crystal
I
Dynamics.
mean, she doesn't talk, so why do you mute your mic?
Thank you so much.
All right,
Kinda
Andy,
weird.
I'm gonna pop out.
Oh, you can stay if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna stay and be quiet. I'm gonna mute.
Okay.
What?
We have a bunch
Two
of
mute
questions
people.
for you later. So, Chris, I think we kind of delved into this. I think you were like leading into it, but so did you find the voice like easy, hard to do, challenging? Like how many different layers went into it?
Oh, a lot. The great and wonderfully annoying thing about Beth, she let me get away with absolutely nothing, and her ear is so finely tuned. She knew exactly when I was trying to cheat. And by cheating, I mean that to get to certain places in my vocal register, you have to bring the air from certain parts of your body and hit it off certain parts of the palate. You know, it's all that stuff that I had never really explored, and she made me very specific. And so there were, so you know, we would.
Andy Wong, he's been in all the dev streams. He's like the guy that talks mostly. And then everybody else is just
stuff.
Yes,
but really felt it. And sometimes Beth would go,
it'd be nice if they gave us some kind of indication of later in the stream we'll show gameplay.
Again.
This might just be all about Chris. I mean, I don't know.
But you know, I love her so much. And this is not about race. This is about, you know, it's the genesis of the dialect was the Hosa language. Now, this is a white woman who got into her car and drove across Africa by herself.
Wow.
So it lent a different weight to when she would say, this is where this came from. This is where this came from. This is because she didn't read about it. She went and did it, you know, and her spirit and her openness to her emotions and to, as I said before, everything that was going on in real culture.
I had some company over last night. We never experienced the Rafcave.
Wow. We would
played about 5 scenes for him. And just cranked it.
I mean,
and wow.
She will be a soul friend for the rest
anyone that has a good home theater. When you play something for someone new, you always get a grin on your face because it's like experiencing it for the first time yourself because you're like looking over at them.
And so there were
my bass
recordings.
I have no
for me that I would listen to.
No concern with the level of volume I play my system at. The bass is always
I knew
wonderful.
I didn't want to do
not a hint of
a voice match,
overpowering, not a hint of distortion.
So
not a hint of overblown, mushy sounding.
One of the things that I kind of already
I couldn't be more happy with the Rafcave
was Forrest when he
did
exciting. Last King of Scotland. So
and
that was my own.
You definitely get a massage too with the butt kickers in the theater seats,
which I quickly had to get rid of.
Oh, okay, never mind. Like, that's interesting.
Rumble.
I'm gonna try hearing for that. Okay.
Because her ear for regional African accents, it's incredible. I
turned up the Atmos speakers a little bit, the volume.
It's almost unnerving.
Nice.
And then
have a little more overhead.
Part of it came really cool. from Mandela, and so at times she would say, "Nope, we need to go again. You fell into your Mandela." And but she's just wonderful. She's just a wonderful human being, and I was very, very
stay on the path
and
stay on War for Wakanda path.
Forever affected
gameplay talk
by being able to work with Beth. Love you, Beth. If you're out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Another question.
Um,
Can we see some gameplay?
we have another question from a user. This one's from cute little Chaos Kitty. What are you most proud of in your performance?
Kitty. Wow. I'm sorry. Say it again.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Hey, Kitty. What were you most proud of in your performance?
Ooh, I think. Wow, that's a tough one. I'm proud of it all. Just that we not just got through it, and when I say we, it's we as the collective. I mean, because my performance is the sum of not just my hard work, everyone's hard work. I mean, the words were great, the scenes were great. There was so much there, and I'm very stubborn. I have problems giving in to things, and what I'm proud of is giving into the truth of a lot of these moments that happen in this, and being able to walk in the truth of this character for the last year and a half, I guess it's been. So I hesitate to say what I'm proudest of, because I'm proud to have, or to.
Last time I checked, Sam was 18.
Also,
18 was in a roll off.
So it's more about the honor of being this character.
Wow.
Which is plenty.
All
Plenty
right.
deep for me.
That is 30 minutes. If you want to hang out, if you want to hang out, go. That's totally fine. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
All right, so who's Hannah?
It's a party. But
What does she do?
I know you're super.
I still don't know what
busy.
Evan does. What is this Evan guy?
So
What does he do?
I guess thank you so much, Chris.
Great introduction to
Thank you
Evan.
For everything.
Thank you. You know, maybe I would love, once this is out, if we could maybe do another one of these with the fans and hear what they think and thought, and just maybe hear from them about it. You know, I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I have definitely plans for that already, and I really want it to happen too.
Awesome.
So yes, but yeah, on behalf of I'm speaking like on behalf of Crystal Dynamics. I'm not. But thank you so much. I'm a big fan. I already told you this earlier. We are so happy and so honored to have you as our Black Panther. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Crystal Dynamics and Marvel, everyone, for letting me be part of this, and to all the fans, I really hope you love this as much as we love doing it.
Chris, thank you again. You know, I mean, you were just talking about the legacy of this character and what it means, and you know, like, it's a humbling thing, right? When you approach it, right, and you realize you're going to be in this gigantic stream of story that's been going on for almost 60 years. Like,
yeah.
So, you know, again, thank you so much for your commitment, for, you know, approaching it with like some real soul and some heart. And, you know, can't wait for you guys, everybody else to see and play this. Thank you so much again, Chris, for your time.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And thank you, everybody. And you will love it. Take care.
Bye, Chris.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Now we got to follow that up.
I know you guys. Are you ready to follow that up?
No pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure whatsoever. How are you guys?
Good.
Nice. I'm gonna switch out these nameplates. There we go. Hi, Hannah. How are you? Oh, okay. Anyways.
Game writer.
So,
Narrative consultant.
thank you, Chris, so much. We can't
Now
wait
we
for
know
you guys
who
to
they
hear
what they are.
his version of Black Panther in our Marvel's Avengers. But now we're going to transition to this next segment with Evan and Hannah. I think Hannah might be having a little bit of audio issues. I don't quite know.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Hannah.
But we'll start with you, Evan. How about that?
Okay. That works for me.
All right. So, you are our narrative consultant. What
Yeah,
does that mean?
they're rated to go to 18.
Basically, it means I
The 150s?
help with story, right? So from top to bottom, how what are the game mechanics? We're hearing some ambient audio from you now, Hannah. So like, what are the game mechanics? How can the story, the narrative design, like reinforce the game mechanics, right? How can the game mechanics inform the game design, right? So how to hook those two things together really tightly in a satisfying way. So that's everything from, okay, does this plot point make sense given the things that the character can do in the game? Given the things that the character can do in the game, how can we make the gameplay more interesting or differentiated? What are the character relationship dynamics? Like, why do these people hate each other again? How can we drive that home more? What's their relationship to the game world? What do they do when they're not doing superhero or adventurer stuff? So it's kind of thinking about the story that the game is trying to tell holistically. Thinking about the game design as part of that. They're not two separate things. And, basically, it could mean everything from reading the whole script of a game and giving feedback. It can be writing a side quest, coming up with ideas of other side quests. It can be figuring out a character's backstory and writing their lines.
Oh, this is
on the particular studio,
boring.
game, the project, what they are trying to achieve, what they feel they need help with, what I feel they need help with. It changes like with each different project, but with this one, it was pretty deep.
It's pretty low,
involved.
Sammy.
What did you say, Hannah?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I have yes, I have headphones that both have ears on them because it's me. Definitely. I mean, I feel like Evan directed me a lot, and the other writers as well on the team, just in terms of remembering things about the character that are core to who he is, especially. And I don't think the movie gets into this as much, which is probably why it's so important to hone in on, is his scientist side, his intellectual side, because I think they lean in the movie very much on Shuri being the tech person and the science person, but it's so core to his character in the comics that he is intelligent and technologically gifted, and he'll upgrade his own suits and he'll come up with his own things. And so it was always important to make sure
a little
he was approaching
underwhelming so
everything
far
from that mindset. He's not just a he's not just a jock. he's not just going pummeling things and punching stuff. He really does approach things as someone who likes to thoroughly think through things and to kind of examine them and pick them apart. And so that was probably the biggest note Evan continually had me like thinking of is just, you got to remember that T'Challa is not just a superhero. He is an incredibly intelligent man.
Sam, you need to know what the philosophy is to go below 20 hertz when you can't hear it. And also movies aren't designed or recorded with sub 20 hertz information
Piggybacks directly
for
off of
movies.
that, and it's, what was it like working together?
When you're
for
trying to
both of you?
move air
Awful.
at that low of
Awful.
hertz,
You
what does
heard
that
it
do?
first, everyone.
I don't see the benefit.
No, it was amazing when they told us
Feeling
that
it
Evan
is most
was
important,
gonna work with us.
and that's
I
where the
think
shakers
just about
come in.
everybody in the studio
I'd rather
flipped
have
out.
shakers in the seats
We
than
have a lot
air
of big
moving that
fans.
low. That does nothing.
And so we
I'd
actually
rather have
brought
the
Evan to
shakers
studio,
in the seats where you feel that
so he
sub
could see
frequencies.
some of the stuff we were working on, and also so
And
we could
also,
talk
I
to
like
him,
to
and
keep
we had
my
a lot of
house
people going, can we come into the
integrity
studio? Like, can we sit in
upheld.
on this discussion?
So
Because
I
we really all,
don't
you know,
see
just
why
wanna
you
hear
need to
his
get
brain.
so
I think I
low.
took a dozen pages of notes that day of just like, and it wasn't always stuff that was specifically having to do with like the plot points of the story. It was really just talking about all of the characters in Wakanda as people and what's important to remember for those characters and how to do them justice. I think that was something that was so important to us, is that we did these characters justice. And I
think this
feel
live
very
stream is,
grateful
here's the
that we've had Evan,
philosophy of War of
because
Wakanda.
It gives us the confidence.
The philosophy of what went
really
into this
explore the
expansion.
stories inside Wakanda.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in August.
If Evan wasn't working with us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, for my part, it was really fun. You know, like watching the story change and kind of evolve over the course of the development.
Well, I know they can hit it, but I need to know if the audio engineers put that into the movie for theaters to replicate.
Was great too. So yeah,
that's what I wanted. I'd rather know that.
About, you know, the various characteristics of T'Challa as a personality.
Of course, movies can hit that low. Depends on your speakers.
But it's also,
but the original actual information on the movie track, soundtrack,
and the whole team for sure is like,
is it written for that?
The first times that people will be able to return to Wakanda en masse, you know, like you know, after the movie, you know, we saw a vision of Wakanda there that obviously, you know, captured people's hearts and minds, and you know, yeah, there was pressure about following up on that, but also like, okay, this is a
my son is on the front yard. He is selling candy, cotton candy, drinks. He started at noon. Looks like there's a customer
that was the most exciting thing for me, was like
that just walked by, which is cool.
Really thought about,
might have been his first sale.
Wakanda history look like? How do they honor that history? And you see that in the architecture of the game, the way
we made some signs. I went out and put signs on both ends of the street. I put a sign by our park down the street. So hopefully things turn around and get some traffic. He's trying to save up for a 3D printer. He wants to get a 3D printer for himself.
What is the chat saying?
And print out a bunch of cool stuff.
No, they were laughing when Hannah said it was awful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, clearly you can see that we hate each other.
Yes.
Clearly. So this is for both of you, what were your influences in building the narrative for our version of Wakanda? Any specific?
I mean, I have specific comic runs that I could probably reference. Interestingly, and I don't want to get into why, the Flags of Our Fathers run, where Cap comes to Wakanda during World War II, ended up being quite influential in how we crafted the backstory for our characters. I had never heard of that run, and it's very fascinating to see a different Black Panther, because you're so used to seeing T'Challa. So to have Azuri and see that kind of background, it really hit home how important it is to have a set history in mind when you're writing this character, because he comes
from Terrence?
History.
Raf Gang is up in here.
So you have to be very clear.
You haven't missed nothing, Terrence.
Wakanda, this is the history. This is how it's led up.
You missed Chris Judge, the voice of T'Challa. He played also, God of War.
Very
Kratos.
much so.
He talked for a while.
I think in addition to the Wakandan history that sort of sits on everything, the
I'm good, Terrence. What's up, man?
Of T'Challa also really influences everything he does, because there's
Killer, man. Where did you go again?
In T'Challa's life that influence who he is as a leader, and so it was very important for us to see, you know, which of those things established in the comics we wanted to take, and which
pressure is good in theaters.
So that we
gotta have pressure.
To the point that he is in our game. So those
are the only theaters with kickers are the D-Box and Dolby Cinemas, which is like more like my theater. Dolby Cinemas, fantastic.
Is influential to me, and
I've seen her smile. I could already see, you know, that snapshot in my head. I know what she looks like when she smiles.
Probably 3 storylines.
So that way I'm not disappointed if she doesn't smile anymore. Las Vegas. That's right. You went to the McGregor fight. Oh man, that's cool, man. Yeah, I watched it. That's it's a tough break for Connor. But he was saying that he actually had fractures in his lower leg before the fight even happened, and he had to wrap up his legs a lot during training. Now that he has a titanium steel rod in his leg, he's like calling himself a Terminator now, and he's going to be stronger than ever. He'll come back and kick all the time with that leg, not feel nothing. Yeah, I bet.
You know, in the Marvel universe,
that was pretty nasty.
Countries have superpowers and they have super advanced technology, and you know they might not necessarily.
Yeah, you don't want to see that fight. But I don't know. We'll see.
you know,
We'll see if he can bounce back. I don't know if he
superpowered
can.
nations,
This is a big blow to his
superpowered nations
career
almost
here.
come to blows. And I think
Momentum for
that's
Connor.
an idea that
But
he explores so well.
who knows?
So those two storylines.
We'll find out for another 6-7 months.
There was another storyline where Claw comes back and they have kind of another really intense reckoning, and T'Challa loses his.
At least you got a good fight that night anyway, right?
A little bit, and you see
A better fight.
just how viscerally the kind of blood vengeance that he seeks against Claw affects him. You know, Claw is a character that can tip him over the edge because of the threat he poses. So, you know, those storylines, you know, I love Ta-Nehisi Coates' run on Black Panther a lot. I think he really delves into emotional dynamics of what it means to be a king, how heavy that duty weighs on you, you know, and what it means when the people you rule view you as something other than human. You know, they view the Black Panther as like the living symbol of their history, and that comes with like a lot of weight. So I think those are some things from the comics that we tried to bring into the game.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Layla, unmute
Guys,
yourself.
Sorry, I just started thinking about, you know, like that question you posed about, like, you know, what does it mean to be a king and like the emotional dynamics. Off in my head, just thinking about that.
We're doing it all the time, so
Yes, for real. Yeah.
So what is it like writing for a game that's continuously evolving and ongoing? Did that like ongoingness aspect of it factor into your writing? Is that something you took into account?
Oh, absolutely. And Evan's up to date on the game too. He was just talking to us about Clint the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. It helps that the narrative team very much works as a collaborative. Like I there's been a couple articles.
Her
that
voice
have called me
definitely
the narrative lead
overpowers
on Wakanda,
everybody
and I wouldn't
else.
consider
Wow.
myself that, because our whole team worked very much together on the project, and it's often hard for us to remember who did what part. And Keanu and Nicole and Jess all contributed to that story together. And the usefulness of us working as a team like that is it meant that we knew what was going on the other packs, even though they were being developed simultaneously. And so we could make
True
sure
that, Sammy.
that everything
Yep,
fell
true
in line
that.
together. And
Your friend bought a
addressing this,
G177. Yeah.
thing that happened when we introduced Kate and
That man be
stuff like
rolling.
that. I really appreciate having a narrative team that is so communicative.
I watched Black Widow, Terrence.
We're
Absolutely.
on Slack right now.
I thought it was
talking to
great.
me. So
I'm gonna pass on Space
we
Jam,
make sure
Terrence.
that we're very much in constant communication.
Nah.
Evan was getting stuff from all of us.
I've already seen
that
Space
we were
Jam with
writing and
the
working on
GOAT,
and trying to figure out,
Michael
how
Jordan.
does this affect
I don't need to see another
the
basketball player
world
do the
at
same thing.
large, the bigger storyline having to do with AIM, how we were
But yeah,
going
Black
to
Panther,
use,
Black Widow was great.
various villains.
It's too bad it didn't come out
and-
4 or 5 years ago.
that sort of thing. So
It would make more of an impact. But
it's
it's good to see your
tough
backstory.
only in the sense that we and
Looking forward to the future. We'll see
chess move we do is
the
gonna
Hawkeye
affect
TV show
all
if
of
we
the
see
others, and so
Layla,
we just
their
want to
name.
make sure
Not
that they're all
Layla.
in line with each other. But it's because we
Yelena.
all work
We'll
on
see
everything,
Yelena take out
that it's not quite as
Hawkeye.
daunting
We'll
as
see.
it could be.
Nice. Okay. So, what makes our
Question.
version of
Can we see gameplay?
Wakanda different than ones that might exist in other mediums?
Gee, the movie?
I'm asking the hard question.
Why can't you just say the movie?
I'll start on that a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, it is Marvel.
They're not. This version of Wakanda is not quite as isolated as
The movie version?
other media.
Other media.
You know,
That's a lame ass way to
it
talk about
was
the
an
movie
attempt
Black
at
Panther from
establishing
Marvel.
diplomatic relations before A-Day, so their existence is known to some people in the world. The exact coordinates, debatable. Are they inviting anybody in? No, definitely not. So I think this version of Wakanda is not just a kind of like whispered myth or legend. Like the people in higher echelons of political power know about it. Maybe does your average American citizen?
Yay, more
Maybe
customers.
not, or they don't want to believe it. So I would say that from the kind of outsider perspective, the rest of the world, that's one major difference. I also think because of some of the changes that we made.
That's right, Sammy. I'm glad we feel the same. Are you even going to watch the new one, Sammy?
The political mood in the country is probably
yes,
different.
Yelena. Absolutely, she should be the future Black Widow. Of course.
Yeah.
This version of T'Challa, I think, is very different.
Snake Eyes. Oh hell yeah.
More arrogant and more aloof.
That's later this month. Crazy, right?
More aggressive.
Yeah.
I really hope this movie delivers.
So, and I think
I mean, as much as I love Mortal Kombat, the fighting in Snake Eyes, I think, looks better than what we saw in Mortal Kombat. Even the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight with the swords. I mean, check out the Snake Eyes fights, man, with those swords, right? Yeah, I think Snake Eyes is gonna deliver big time. Holy crap, big time. Finally, killer martial arts back into the theaters and our living rooms. Yes.
Probably trusting their king a lot, and they've never seen him kind of falter or reconsider himself. So that probably makes them happy.
That was a fun movie too, Terrence. Glad you watched that. Tomorrow War? Hell yeah. Crazy sound, huge bass, fun movie, long movie. But there's going to be a sequel as well. That's it, Leonard. Leonard is a new subscriber to the Raf Gang. Thanks for joining.
There's definitely a lot of reverence toward T'Challa, I think, in our Wakanda because of that. He's less collaborative than we may have seen him in other places. He's much more, this is my job, this is the thing I have to do, this is the weight on me. So that's definitely true. I think it's also important to note that he's a lot older than necessarily he was in the movie. He's not new.
Thank you for saying
king.
movie.
He's been king for quite a while. And so that comes with it sort of a confidence of experience.
So he's been king for a while, not just taking over from his
we
his
still
dad
wanted to draw from Wakanda all of these important characters like Okoye and Salvatore, who's a comic book character that we pulled for the game, who I really love. And so we still grounded it in the comics, but we wanted our T'Challa to be in a place where he didn't think he needed the Avengers. And that he's been doing it on his own for so long that there's no reason for him to think that he's ever going to come across something where he might want other people to join forces with him. And that also contributes a lot to his relationship with Shuri in our game, which I think is very different from pretty much any other.
That's cool. Like, I don't need you, Avengers, but if you're here, you can help.
There's a wedge between them. Due to a lot of that backstory that you'll get from playing the game.
Yeah.
Trying really hard not to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But there's a wedge between them due to some of the stuff that's happened in their past that they're going to be spending some time working on in this pack.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Finally talking about the game. Wow.
Here's another question that will test your unspoiling metal. How is it writing our versions of Black Panther, Shuri, Okoye, and Claw?
Okay.
We're testing you guys. This is a test.
Well,
Right.
I'll start by answering about Claw.
Go ahead.
Again, this version of Claw is different too.
You Claw.
In the comics, we've seen Claw as a would-be colonizer, as a somebody who's basically out to kind of steal this amazing natural resource of vibranium.
Adamantium. Sounds
the movie
better.
Kind of put him as more of a mercenary.
I always call it
who was
adamantium.
only out for his own profit.
The only reason why they're calling it vibranium is because they didn't have the rights to Fox properties. Hopefully that goes back. I don't know.
Here,
Ever will.
he too is more of a scientist, right?
Did you guys? Hey,
He's
Terrence.
not leaning on anybody else.
Anybody else in the Raf Gang that's seen Black Widow?
He needs to achieve his ends. That's pretty much
In the
what
movie,
him. I mean, he is
in the
partnership with
prison
him,
scene,
so I don't
when
support
Red Guardian is arm wrestling all those
really
fools and just slamming them down like there's no
and chasing his
big deal,
own
whatever.
life.
That big dude, right? The big dude that
And
sits down
that's
as a
where I'm
girl.
from. That's not a spoiler.
Yep.
He's saying on Twitter that he is officially the first mutant
So yeah,
in the
Claw's different
MCU.
that way. Shuri,
His character
I
is
think,
can change into a bear.
in previous
and
versions
he's saying he's the
of
first
T'Challa and Shuri's
technically
relationship,
mutant
you know, you've seen
in the Marvel universe. So that is
rivalry.
interesting,
You know, in the comics,
and
Shuri
could
is
be true.
mad
What do you guys
aggressive. You
think?
know,
Mutant,
she's
first
cocky,
mutant
she's arrogant.
in the MCU.
And when she you know became the Black Panther in the comics, she was really not trying to listen to anybody. So this version here is, like Hannah said, more collaborative, you know, than T'Challa, and more social, you know, like you know, it feels weird to say, but she kind of feels like more of a teenager here than in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
Because we get a sense that, oh, you have friends and you hang out and you know, you're on TikTok all the time.
It's in some ways it also kind of feels like she's been protected from some of the darker things.
Yes.
She's definitely been sort of shielded from some of the harder stuff.
And she's more, I think, optimistic.
Yeah.
You know, and T'Challa again, you know, this is a dude who I think as the embodiment of Wakanda, right? Like he takes some of those ideals to heart a lot more than in other iterations. So, you know, like he's a lot more isolationist than, you know, other versions of T'Challa from the comic and the movie. You know, I also think he's a lot more angry, you know.
He said in like 3 weeks, Sammy, 3-4 weeks.
Good reason, but and that anger comes out in different ways. T'Challa, I think, mostly in latter day interpretations of him, has been written and portrayed as somebody who has his emotions under control. But I think that's true of this version. But like when he gets angry, you know it and you feel it.
Definitely.
And it feels deeply felt.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of Okoye's character, the comics were kind of essential for understanding her as a person and understanding the Dora Milaje. There's some really, really excellent stuff in Ta-Nehisi's run about the Dora Milaje and who they are and what their role is. And I think we drew a lot of that into Okoye's character as well as other Dora Milaje that show up in the game. I didn't know. From the movie, you get a very sort of one-dimensional view of who Okoye is and what her relationship with T'Challa is like. But in the comics, it's so much more layered than that because there's this whole weight of the Dora Milaje's history again that influences who they are and what their role was in Wakanda. Originally, they were potential wives for the Black Panther, and that's part of the honorifics and things that they use with Black Panther. So there's that kind of you know, that's not the way it is anymore, but there's that sort of very like relationship between like the Dora Milaje and their panther has a particular weight to it that was really fun to play with in terms of Okoye, of how much can she question what T'Challa does and how much does she still, you know, she's meant to serve the Black Panther, she's meant to protect the Black Panther. So there's sort of that dynamic of, you know, we don't want her to be too disrespectful, but also it's Okoye, so she you know.
Sometimes you really should listen to me, Mike.
Exactly. So yeah, that was a really fun balance to come up with, and just getting to read all of the Dora Milaje stuff in the comics. They're so cool. I'm such a fan of them. I hope we get to do more with them. And then from T'Challa and Shuri, I think we've kind of talked around that a lot. I think Shuri's been really fun to include, just in terms of how she relates to the other Avengers too. Because that's quite different. You know, not all of the Avengers in our game have necessarily met or been in Wakanda in other iterations like Kamala. And so getting to sort of see how T'Challa would react to Kamala and Shuri would react to Kamala has been pretty fun because she's such a fangirl and she's so earnest. And it's a little bit different than, you know, how Tony Stark reacts to Wakanda.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so this is from a player, Pewter Odin. What is both of your favorite parts of working on the expansion? I know, all these like weird spoilery territory things that you gotta like weave around.
I think for me, my favorite part was getting to figure out what T'Challa's opinion is of the other Avengers. to figure out like how he would feel about these various characters after A-Day and how he would feel about the
Yeah, I
decisions
like that.
they made after A-Day and what decisions they're making now has been really, really fun to figure out because it's different depending on which hero he's talking to. And we really like there was a lot of discussions back and forth in the narrative chat of, okay, how would T'Challa feel about Tony, who like was living in a trailer, and how would he feel about, you know, Kamala being a young teenager, being part of the Avengers. So those are really fun things to figure out is specifically T'Challa's opinion on the various Avengers as they appear in our game.
Yeah, and you know, the Avengers' opinions of T'Challa and Wakanda, right? You know, like let's just say it's a mild crisis of faith for Tony. You know.
Yep.
But I thought I was smart.
Yeah.
I thought I had cool stuff. Well, you do.
But also, can you share all this cool stuff with me?
Yeah,
please?
yeah. And then the response
Help
to
me
that
out.
is
Help a brother out.
probably what you expect. But yeah, you know, like, you know, T'Challa and Shuri are going to see, they're going to have rivalry with some characters. They're going to have camaraderie with others, you know. They're, you know, going to be impressed by some of the capabilities that these other characters bring to bear. So, you know, it's like very much a getting to know you kind of dynamic for a lot of the game. And that was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for Eternal.
Yeah, that's okay. I will say non-spoilery, but I think my favorite hero in Wakanda is Thor. So keep an eye out for for Thor's thoughts on Wakanda.
Interesting.
I didn't write those. That was Keanu and Jess. But they were yeah. They're pretty much my favorite.
Shout out to Keanu and Jess.
Yes.
All right,
Nicole.
Thor fans have a
Nicole.
nice treat in Wakanda.
All right. We have a question from Carrot Scraps. This one looks like it's more for you, Evan. As a consultant, how do you guide writers making a new take on an existing character without stepping on existing work and retreading ground while keeping the character's core true?
So, you know, I think, you know, the comics and the original source material are always the foundation, right? And part of engaging with the comics is acknowledging that they themselves have evolved, right? Like T'Challa.
You mean the Stark tech?
His history has evolved over the decades, right?
Those two Sonic cannons from Stark
Tech.
tech.
Were understood one way, but now they're understood another way, right? So, keeping that sense of
in the beginning when they turn it on
in mind,
and it hits Hulk for the first time, and he gets that slow mo shot. That was super low.
Also evolved them, you know, like
and then it finally caught up to real time.
A fresh story.
I can see that sub base right there. Hell yeah, nice.
You know, when I was working on the Miles Morales game, you know, part of it was, okay, what makes Miles Morales different than Peter Parker, you know? And with this project, it was, okay, what makes this version of T'Challa, this version of Wakanda different than the other things we've seen before, right? But how can we also nod at, you know, those other histories, those other stories of Wakanda that we've seen in other medium? And I think this team does a really good job with it. You know, there's things about, like, you know, Wakandan history that are the same kind of beats historically.
How long is this live stream? Any ideas? Anybody know?
Are made manifest in the game. Like, I'm talking like physically as certain locations and whatnot. That's very different than the comics have done. And, you know, there's a few moments where I was like, oh, that's really smart. Y'all thought about this. So, you know, part of it was just, again, supporting that work. And, you know, like Hannah said before, pushing a little bit, you know, okay, remember this character is also this, you know, like here's, you know, one way their relationship could turn. So, you know, it's always finding a balance between acknowledging the history and the foundation that you're stepping off of, but also like looking upwards and outwards to where else you can take it, right? You're always carrying that history with you, right? And for a character like T'Challa, who again literally is the embodiment of a whole country's history and ideals, like that's such an important thing to keep hold of. And I think, you know, we tried our best on it.
Definitely.
Awesome. So we're like past 11. I know everyone is busy, but before I have one like really open-ended question at the end.
What the hell? Someone pulled the
Before
plug
we get
early.
there,
Jesus.
if you guys, everyone in chat wants to read more about it, go to our Entertainment Weekly article where they interviewed Chris Judge, Evan Narcisse, and Hannah, all three of them. And I just want to clarify that the 25 hours does include the base game, the Reassemble campaign, Operations, War for Wakanda, and we can't wait for you guys to play that. But before we end, both of you,
That's kind of
what do
weird. What do you
guys
say?
want players to take or to get out of playing War for Wakanda?
You know, for me, like whenever I think about Wakanda, like from a story perspective, but also like a meta perspective, it's like the symbolism of what this place represents, right? Like Black achievement, Black excellence, you know, the spirit to endure and thrive in a world that doesn't often want to understand you or respect you. To do that anyway, that's what Wakanda realizes. That Wakanda is a realization of that idea. And we definitely tried to home in on that too. You know, like T'Challa's personality and the way he embodies his role as king is definitely a result of that kind of thinking, right? But also, you know, the thing that I think this story has in common with Rise of the Black Panther is how do you present all of that to the world,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that encourages collaboration and partnership versus fear and suspicion and greed. So I think, you know, there's like a meta narrative about what Wakanda means. And
Sammy, when you're watching
also
Fear Street
in depth
1960
itself,
or
I think
1666, when you're watching that one,
I think
I
for
heard it.
me,
I heard it
want
wasn't as good as the
people to
first two.
see the layers that exist for Wakanda that I think not everyone is aware of just by virtue of the movie being the most sort of popular thing. But there's a lot of really interesting layers to Wakanda in terms of the politics, in terms of the different tribes, in terms of the different roles in the government. You know, Wakanda is not one monolithic thing, and I think that's part of what makes it so much a source of hope, like Chris Judge said, which I almost cried when he said that. This I want people to see that Wakanda is not just one thing. It means a lot of things for different people. And I hope that by the end of it, it's sort of stuck with you too. That Wakanda has left a mark on you as well. I think that would make me really happy.
Aww.
I
Okay.
still have to watch
That's amazing.
78
That
first.
is all the time we have. Thank you guys for joining
Yeah,
us.
I
Thank you,
need to watch
chat,
that one.
for tuning in. We have a lot more to show for Wakanda, a lot more to blogs.
Can we get a date
streams,
on the July
all
update
that
at least?
stuff going into the future before we launch, and we can't wait for you guys to
Launch date would be nice too.
get in. Yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it, huh?
So
Wow.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Evan, so much for everything. We are so happy to have you. I am also a fan. I keep telling everyone this. Sorry if it's creepy, by the way. I'm just gonna.
Oh, it's all good.
But yeah, I'm a huge comic book nerd, so same thing. Thank you so much for
So
coming on
basically,
here
we
and
learned
for
nothing from this stream
consulting our
other than
team and
people are happy
everything.
that it's coming out. Okay.
We're
It's been
honored.
a ton of fun. I can't wait to dig into this expansion and see it all come to life. And I hope everybody enjoys it. And thank you guys for having me on.
Poltergeist is an awesome movie.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys, that was it. Thanks for watching, guys. Smash the like before you go. Appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next stream. Sammy, take it easy. Everybody else in the chat, have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, guys. Peace out.